Green Legion, not the 2:22 to 4:22 Saturday show that we're accustomed to, the actual 1 to 3 p.m. show that we come to love so much over the years. You guys, my name's Quimby, joined today alongside Rexalicious. Finally, our schedules aligned where we could do a show together that wasn't the pod. Rexy, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's another beautiful day here in South Florida.
That's it. Rub it in. Everybody else, you suck. That's what you get for not living down here. In studio, my co-host and producer, John Jansen. How are you, sir?
I'm good. All my bets are moving so far, so I'm having a great time.
Oh, well, we're gonna talk about that real soon. Don't worry, that's coming up. And of course, the boys from Tough. Oh God, wait, what show? Tough Cover Radio Show. I suck, you guys. I'm sorry. If you guys were after me, I would know this every time, but I'm usually scrambling. Just wanted to make a real quick announcement while the boys from Tough Cover Radio are still here, and while John Jansen is about ready to think that I'm going to throw him under the bus, and I am, but in a good way.
Well done.
Next week, releasing packages for 1100 Social at Xfinity Live for a large and fun and excellent open bar and buffet package before WrestleMania, everyone. Just so you know. Go ahead, Jansen.
Let's go. Let's go, Quimby.
Uh-huh.
Get in on the wrestling action.
I am, man. We're not done everything.
The Green Legion radio show from there?
You damn right we are. No, we're doing a Tough Cover Radio show from there with Green Legion hosts.
Let's go.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, there we go. We don't have everything done yet, but we're going to be getting it out there shortly. And yeah, the same thing that we do for home tailgates for Eagles games is going to be the same thing we do before WrestleMania. So if you want to get in there all tuned up, full of food, we are going to make sure that happens. We're going to have room for 800 screaming idiots. So
800.
be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting the same.
To the 800 idiot wrestling fans.
Yeah, we're getting the same footprint as we had for home tailgates. The 1100 Social Patio and indoor barn restaurant. It's all ours. So be on the lookout, you guys. And yes, broadcasting
I'm very excited in the studio for that.
broadcasting live will be Tough Cover Radio, and its hosts along with John Jansen and probably Rob Valivas will come in on that. Rob,
He's a
he needs to
big
be there.
wrestling fan.
Yeah, huge. I'm also going to see if we can't get a little. Rob has a pretty excellent connection with Stone Cold, and we're going to find out if we can't get.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Even I know who that is. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
When did he wrestle?
Oh my God, you are just. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, somebody kill him over there. Literally strangle him out. Grab one of the cords and strangle him out right
I
now.
wish I knew it. I wish I knew like one of the special moves, like his signature move, and then we could have said.
Oh, how do you know that? Yeah.
I'm not a wrestling fan.
Anyway, look for that. It's not going to be priced the way home tailgates are. I'm going to let you know that right now. This is a premium event, and we're going to try to have premium guests. So when we get everything ready to go, Tough Cover, I expect, if you guys don't mind, helping us promote this, and we'll help promote you as much as we possibly can, probably throw it your way. And if that's good with you guys, then we're all in. So I hope that was worth you guys hanging around studio for a hot second.
You're all very excited, by the way. Every single one.
You know where we have the live show, yes?
Yeah, I've done the live shows with you.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't, not you, John.
No, they're going. The host of Tough Cover Radio Show has to leave.
Oh, okay. All right. Just.
Producer is still around. I don't know why.
There we go. Everybody, welcome to Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports 102.5 FM Philadelphia, brought to you by our friends at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, a great place to go before and after WrestleMania and before and after the Phillies home opener. Make sure you download the iHeartRadio app, rate, review, download, and subscribe to Green Legion Radio on Fox Sports, the Gambler Philadelphia. Sending a shout out to our good friends at the Parrot in Fort Lauderdale. Everybody over there, excellent.
Love the Parrot.
Love the Parrot. Rock Bar in Scottsdale, the king of all mullets. He is the man. He is the man. The now Salt House Social, formerly the Brown Boxer in Clearwater Beach, Border City Ale House in El Paso, Texas. Did you go there? You didn't go to Border City
I
Ale House.
was going to ask you more about it. What is this? How do we know?
It's a
it?
big Eagles bar.
All right, I didn't know that. How do we know?
They are fans. They've reached out to us on numerous occasions to try to do stuff. We haven't been able to come up with anything, but their interest level in us is enough that I'm going to mention them every week and every show, every time I'm on air.
And I'll be going there next time I'm in El Paso.
There you go. And, of course, Torrey Pines Pub in Las Vegas. I know that was where we were hoping to be. If there was a Super Bowl we could skip, it's never going to be the case, but if it has to be one, Vegas can implode upon itself like California, and I wouldn't be any happier than I could be. But the show is brought to you by friends at Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, Stateside Vodka, Stateside Bourbon, Diaz. And, of course, now available at every home Green Legion tailgate, Stateside, Surfside, and available at our Tampa away game tailgate at Steinbrenner Field, Stateside, Surfside. That was a nice bonus that everybody received these last two tailgates this last season. So, Stateside, Surfside, big fans of the program. We're a big fan of them. Love seeing the local guys and gals seeing some success and hopefully taking it to another level. So, you guys, Quigley Brothers, we love you. We appreciate you. Dave Bobuso, State Farm, Greater Philadelphia Health Action, Bucks County Baseball Company, Premier Window Cleaning, we hate dirtywindows.com, the Ludlam Bar and Grill, formerly La Costa in Sea Isle City. Of course, like I said before, Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, E&J Mobile Cigar Lounge, John Marcini Estate and Wealth Council, and of course, Jeff Quinn and Dave and Susie Chung over at Echelon Health and Fitness in both Voorhees and Audubon, New Jersey. When did we actually start the show, Jansen? What time? So I can start figuring this out. Or should we take our breaks on the 20, the 40, and the 55 anyway?
Yeah, you can keep it there.
All right, good. Then I'll be close to taking a break before we talked about a single thing. But since you were talking about your bets, John Jansen, oh, you're damn right. If you didn't think I was going to pin a medal on my own chest today, or the first show we're back.
Because today would be so different.
Hey, they don't call him the best. They don't call him the best color analyst in the league for nothing, Monty.
The team I bet on, they actually just won an 8-0 run, so I'm back in it, all right? It's only an 8-point game. They're 3-point dogs, so I'm going to be back. I thought it was going to be a blow. I was not happy with how things were.
You still don't know where I'm going with this.
What are we talking about?
I still don't know.
All right. Well, let me help you. And anything that you called out from before, feel free to pound your gorilla chest. If you didn't think I was going to talk about my top 4 bets of the Super Bowl, prop and over/under, all hitting, you can kiss my royal ass. You guys, 46.5 over/under. The total was 47. I told you I'd bet a dime on it. You're welcome. Now, if you actually pulled that over/under when the lines first came out, I think didn't it start at 47.5?
I think you actually called me when that pass was made.
Oh, I did. You're damn right I did.
And I was, it was not any.
Not that. I didn't call you on that. I'm not talking about the over. Right now I'm talking about the over/under. I think the over/under started at 47.5 when it first opened. But then, everybody was taking the under, so it came down And if you were smart enough to wait till the last 48 hours, last 36 hours on the trend down and taking the over, and you got it at 46.5, you nailed it. But doesn't matter, because the first one that I called was the person to score the first touchdown, Christian McCaffrey at plus 365. And the next one that I called was amount of players to attempt the pass at over 2.5 at plus 160. And both of them hit on the same damn play. Yeah, that's it. I'm giving the D-Generation X right now. I don't want to hurt my nuts, but you know what I'm doing, Jansen. You know where I'm going with this. Woo!
Speaking of degeneration,
Hold on.
1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem.
Hold on a second. Ready? You don't say that on this station, bro. Come on. Ready? In the spirit of what we just talked about? 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! So, anyway. Yeah, person to score. I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago.
We did, yeah. You
And I said I was going to try to make this happen.
sticking around for. I was like, oh, I think I know. And
So we're good. We're good. But I not only did I call or make my top 2 prop bets. Not only did I call my top 2 prop bets, but they happened in the same play. When Debo, it wasn't Debo. Who threw it over to McCaffrey?
who was it? Brandon Jennings?
No, was it Ayuk? No, it was Jennings. You're right. It was Jennings.
I think it was Brandon Jennings.
Jennings. If the Niners won the game, Jennings should have had MVP.
I think I saw a stat later, I saw something later that Brandon Jennings is actually the highest recruited quarterback and the highest yards we get a high school quarterback than any quarterback.
Really?
Higher star prospect than Brock Purdy, than Patrick Mahomes, than any of the backups.
Recognizing people in the room right now: Russ Taylor, Lou Mancini, Mike English. English. I can't. Yeah, English. No crap. But we're gonna get to that in a second. We're on top break. We're going over this break for a hot second. Because my next bet wasn't a moneymaker because it was at minus 110, but I called under 4.5 total sacks in the game. How many? That's right. 4. So for all those you think I'm a mush, Jansen, you got to have it ready for me. I asked you. Remember? Get it up now. Get it up now. Ready? Hold on. Tell me when it's up. Tell me when it's up. All right. I'll talk. Once again. Can we just get the March Madness, Russ Taylor? I agree with you. Because actually, no. You know what? I'm good with being down, a little downtime from sports, especially considering the emotional toll that this season took with
It's amazing.
with the Birds, right? But
How about another bet? The Kansas City Chiefs don't get called for holding, offensive holding. That would have been a safe bet.
how about this? While we're waiting, yeah, well, of course. Do a lot. No, don't. We're going to do it right after this.
I'll wait. Yep.
All right. Everybody, Echelon Health and Fitness, located in Voorhees and Audubon, New Jersey. Voted best gym in South Jersey 7 years in a row. Memberships starting at $8.99 per month. Family and locally owned. Over 100 group fitness and Thrive personal training sessions per week. Class for seniors, real life fitness, MBSC, Thrive personal training. Considered the best group training in the country and is exclusively offered in South Jersey at Echelon Health and Fitness. Member perks. Echelon members save at over 800 local businesses simply for being an active member. This concept was created by Ken Davies and Jeff Quinn. You guys make sure I'm not taking away from Echelon's message here, but City Fitness, Echelon Health and Fitness, 2 of the best organizations, not just in the fitness world, but in professional anything. Do business with them. Once again, members save while helping to support local businesses. Call 856-454-2976. That's 856-454-2976 for a free 30-day all-access pass. Or go to Echelon HF. That's Echelon HF Health Fitness gmail.com. Are we ready for that? Jansen.
Yes, we are.
All right, hold on real quick. All right.
What was that?
We're good, right? Jansen, you there? No, you're supposed to wait. Stop. All right, ready? You'll know when to play it, and turn it up. So, for all of those who think I'm a mush, Vera, please. Everybody, off the chains, Green Legion Radio, 1 to 3 on Saturdays. Brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club alongside Rex Alicious and John Jansen back in studio. We're brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. We're taking our first break right now. We'll see you in a few minutes. Yeah, it does this. I'm on a better signal now. I'm still troubleshooting, but all I have to do is disconnect and connect right away, and it takes 3 to 4 seconds, and it's right back. So if there's ever that pause, that's what I'm doing. How much time do we have, bro? What's that? Yeah, cool. All right. Love Vera. Kiss my entire ass. You want a shot?
Yes.
Good.
Suck my ass.
There we go, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna start cooking chicken. I'm gonna put some chicken on, right? And I'm gonna put it on slow.
Well, I look at those right now that Dan
I'll go chicken and you guys run your fucking mouth so fucking much that you lose weight because your mouth is fucking non-stop filling about the color. Mine goes back into the fridge. You guys don't know how calories run your fucking mouth.
I think they're built to have success in the postseason, but I think the idea that they got their butt kicked out by saying to my brain that's going to be the
What about all the fucking solar kids in China?
beating everybody by 30. I just don't think that's how it is. Now, I know numbers from Noah's perspective. I know you guys come from a day-to-day basis. I know they're better. Worry a little bit about them. They have some peaks and valleys, to say the least, over the course.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the idea that just because UConn lost, that it's somehow this magic reset that they're going to beat everybody by 30 because they beat Marquette by 30 last Saturday. I think that's
Elon Musk's,
if you can love it, look it up here. Who's the big winner, everybody? You win some, you'll lose some. It's not good at all. That's a nice saying for feeling better about it. You're still a winner. But here's a phrase that's hopefully never been associated with me. Alexa, play Fox Sports Radio The Game. Gambler on iHeartRadio.
I agree.
Every time. Released to all over Fox Sports Radio and The Gambler.
I'm back. No! Call Top Dog Law! Unhappy, Keenan, English, Russ, good to see you guys. Lou, once again, good to see you. Everybody, Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports, The Gambler, 102.5 FM, Philadelphia. Brought to you by our friends at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club and E&J Mobile Cigar Lounge. Can be found on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at EJ Mobile Cigar Lounge. Their website is ejmobilecigarlounge.com. They will come to you for any occasion and event. They are the premier luxury mobile cigar and hookah lounge in the Philadelphia area. Call or text EJ at 215-806-3999. That's 215-806-3999. Talking about, Quimby, alongside Rex Alicious, Brian Rex Conroy, and John Jansen back in studio. First of all, premise for today's show, we got a few things to go over. I am fresh off the plane at 6:30 this morning from Brazil.
Fresh.
Actually, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Yeah. I was 9 hours takeoff to front door today, which was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Considering it's a red eye and you want that to last as little as possible.
No, you know what? Well, I mean, everybody knows that I don't pay for my flights at this point. I run the entire company through my Amex card, and Amex has really excellent travel benefits. So I'm also, I'm flying first class. I don't deserve it. I'm the jackass that walks into first class and, that's with alcohol seeping out of my pores.
I don't want to remind you of the flight you had to take down there, though.
Well, don't. I'm having a good day.
Okay.
All right.
You were not fresh off the plane there.
I was not. I was pissed. But American Airlines, we'll talk about that one. Yeah, you're executive platinum member for 7 straight years.
That's the highest, right?
That's the highest. Well, no, Concierge Key, which Concierge Key is hysterical. They'll send you private transportation to your hotel. American Airlines, private limousine transportation, a driver, and have a representative from American meet you at the door when you arrive. And then they'll walk you through private security, walk you right to the gate, wait for you until you get on the plane, walk down with you to your seat the entire way, almost like, we got a stage 5 clinger. I got to get out of here.
When do they hand you the champagne is what I'm asking.
If there's any length of time that you have, they'll walk you right in the Admirals Club. It's they take care of you at Concierge. And hey, you know what? American Airlines? Yeah, thinking about that. Hold on. Aside the personal money I've spent to reach my executive platinum status, I don't know, maybe $500,000 to $1 million a year, exception 2018 where we spent $3 or $4 million with you for travel, and I'm not Concierge Key yet.
Is that who you usually charter your planes through? Is American?
We don't charter. We try to get commercial.
Okay.
Honestly, chartering flights has its benefits, and it absolutely has its non-benefits. It's a chaotic disaster with check-in, especially at Philadelphia International. When we went to the
wonderful airport.
They all have their head up their ass. They know I'm blocked from posting on their social media.
How long is that list of areas you're blocked on social media?
Well, glad somebody in this world stays consistent, Rex Alicious.
This is true. Never a surprise.
So ready for this? These asshats for the Super Bowl. You know how long, Jansen, I don't know how much you travel international, but Rexy and I do it quite frequently.
I've never traveled.
Really?
I don't really travel.
We're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, we do.
So the A terminal, not A West. The A terminal is the international terminal. That's where the Qatar Airways flies out of, where your British Airways flies out of. But it's a long, because these planes are bigger. It's a very long terminal. So if your ass has to go down to the end of it, if you're in a hurry, you're sweating. All right. So what Philadelphia International Airport? I never talked about this publicly because I still have to deal with them, and they could make my life more difficult than they already have. But we were supposed to have our check-in counter at the A terminal, international. As we arrived, they switched it to the E terminal, and our plane was still at the end of the A terminal. So we had to have everybody shuttled all the way to E to get checked in, which was a super long ass line, because the problem with charter is they bring their own check-in people. It's not like American that has 30 ticket agents, across the board. They bring 3, maybe 4 if you're lucky, and they're working on their own computer system. It's a little weird. It doesn't make you feel like your nuts are getting tickled. I'll tell you that. Hey, I'm flying a charter flight. Now, you're flying a public charter, which means you have to go through the same bull crap that you go through in any international flight or domestic flight. The one you want is a private charter. That's on the other side of the airport where you see the UPS planes. That's where you have your own private check-in, your own private security. You walk right to the plane, walk up steps. You're not. We did this once, and it was with. Who was it with? Miami Air before they went out of business. Our good friend Bob Borg down in New Orleans. All right. Owner of a big bus company and Travel NOLA. And he actually, our 2 Miami Air charters landed 30 minutes behind each other. Bob had the New Orleans MSY, I think it's New Orleans, right?
That sounds right, yes.
He had this airport on lockdown. He had the charter buses drive right up to the planes upon arrival.
That's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, and everybody watched their luggage be handed from the handlers to the representatives from his bus company.
Whereas in Fight Club, they call them throwers.
Right? Ready? 20 minutes. Everybody was out of that airport with their bags to the hotel and done. And that was the only charter. Bob Borg, thank you for so many things that you've done for me over the years, but thank you for that, because that was the only charter experience I can say that anybody ever felt like they're nuts. God,
and that's spoiled everyone for airline travel forever.
Ever. Well, it's like the first time you sit in first class. You're never going back.
You heard Steve Harvey says, that's what makes me want to get up and work, is that, once you sit in that first class and you walk by it again, you want to make sure that you get back to first class again.
Never again. But
because I'm overgrown and coach middle seats are just torture.
Jansen, Rexy's not the smallest human being in the world. Yeah, but I'm a lot sexier, and I have a tough time dealing with that on a regular basis.
Survey says
100 people were polled. Let's see, Keenan. I'm not in the room at all. Let's get to God.
Was our tangent too long there?
No, we're good, man. I've got a long run sheet here, and I want to talk about Brazil, but we can save that for Monday if we have to.
Can you give us a little teaser?
Can give you a little teaser. Everybody, the teaser for, let me run through this real quick, and we'll get through this before this break is out, and then when we come back, I want to hear from people like English and Keenan and Russ and Lou about their wish list, because there's a very interesting situation. By the way, Jansen, and I'll say it again, because, that's right, I'm tired of being the soundboard for every other person in sports media. What did I tell you 2 weeks ago? The cap was going to go up. Do you remember this conversation?
I do remember
What did I say?
that the cap was going to go up.
How much?
I don't remember did you give a specific?
I did.
I did not know that.
I gave it very specific, and you can pull it up in break. 28 to 30 million. What did the cap go up?
30.
30 million.
30, yeah.
30 million.
I didn't
So,
realize it's going to like double. It's going to double in like 10 years. Meaning
well,
going back.
no,
to like,
are you kidding me? Why wouldn't it? This is
I
the
think-
mogul.
I do think they should be paid more, but yes.
Well, I mean, that's all going to happen. Hassan Reddick leaving, exploring that trade. He might not have to now because of the increase in the salary cap. We're going to get to that. That's the topic of most of the
Save
show.
my comments for that later.
Here you go. What you guys need to know about Brazil. Hotels we are using in each city. Sao Paulo, there's 6 of them. La Hotel, La Trans. I forgot to get this information before I left, or before we started the show. The Intercontinental, the Renaissance, they're all on the same plane. Or same level. I'm going to tell you this right now. Make this easy for you to digest. We're going to use 6 hotels in Sao Paulo because none of them are giving us more than 50 rooms a night. And for the 2 peak nights, September 5th and September 6th, we need 300 rooms just for the amount of flights that we have. So what we are going to do is we are going to give a specific flight itinerary, a specific hotel. So you're going to have your choice of hotels, but it's not going to be a choice of hotels paired with a choice of flight itinerary. All right. If you want a specific hotel, then you're going to choose that flight itinerary because you're going to lose 4 or 5 hours in downtown Sao Paulo if we have to take a charter bus with 50 people to 6 different hotels. We're not doing it. Every hotel that we're working with is on the same level. If you guys didn't know, once again, we're partnering with Big Game Travel, the same people we worked with for the Super Bowl. Brian, Steve Nickel, Jen Connor, excellent people. Hold on, say again.
Was that the Hall of Fame too, right? Was that the same?
Hall of Fame? No,
Yeah.
no. We were by ourselves there, but they are extremely operationally efficient, and that is why we've combined our efforts there. Look, I get it. Not to give the other guys who are a little smaller, any grief. They're going to do what they do, and I'm sure they're going to do it well. And like I said, the first time we started talking about Brazil, I don't care who you use. If you don't want to use us, that's fine. If you think I'm an asshole, that's fine. All right, but go with the group. All right, it's just smart to do that. I was down there for 9 days, and had no problems. You just be a little street smart. All right, the crime down there is a little higher than most third world countries.
Remember the advice I gave you? Gave you one thing of advice. Remember?
No.
Stay on the beaten path.
Oh yeah, stay on the beaten path. No, stay on Atlantica Avenue while you're in Rio. Buzios, you can do whatever you want. If there's any crime in Buzios, whoever did it's getting beaten almost to a pulp. All right. Sao Paulo, different story, but we're only going to be there for a hot second. Let me tell you once again what you need to know. Hotels we're using, 6 of them in Sao Paulo, Intercontinental Renaissance, the hotel. Oh, I forget the other 3. I'll get that to you. We're releasing on Monday. In Rio, we are only using 2 hotels, and they're awesome. The JW Marriott, which is dead in the middle of the south zone of Copacabana Beach. It is a JW Marriott like any other JW Marriott you know. In addition to that, at the end of Ipanema Beach, we're going to use the Sheraton Grand Rio. And if you've seen some of the pictures of the best beaches and water that I've sent on social media over the last few days, that is the hotel. It is full service resort. It is a 15-minute and a 10 15-minute Uber ride in Brazil is $4.
Not bad.
It's nothing. Also, the Belmont. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question. So
Please.
you mentioned Copacabana Beach, and then you mentioned a second beach. Can you tell us what the differences are, or what one,
Excellent question,
what
Brexy. Thank
one
you.
like about one or the other?
So if you look at Rio, right, it's two beaches that collide to a point that come out in a peninsula. The north side is Copacabana Beach. On that top north side is Sugarloaf, the most uh, 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 traveled to the most popular tourist attraction in Rio, Sugarloaf. It's a big gondola from one large spitting rock out of the earth to another even larger spitting rock. It's right there. Copacabana Beach is awesome. It's Copacabana Beach. Look it up. Ipanema Beach starts at the south side of that peninsula, and the Sheraton is located at the end of that. Actually, in an area called Leblon, which is the wealthiest area of Rio. So, where the Sheraton, we're going to be using a place called the Belmont for our headquarters, and it is dead in the middle of an Uber ride from the JW and from the Sheraton.
Okay.
And here's the difference between the two. JW is a JW, all right? Sheraton is a Sheraton. I've stayed at both places this last week. The rooms are the same. The service has been the same. The Sheraton's going to be a little bit less expensive. It's got its own beach. It's right. The beach is right there. You don't have to cross Atlantic Avenue to go to the beach. But if you want to be in the middle of everything, if you want to be swarmed by it, stay at the JW. If you want that kick-ass resort, holy crap, I feel completely relaxed in a crystal blue water situation.
Sure.
Sheraton. All right. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, I've stayed at enough JWs. Like the pool, there's a pool at the top of the JW on the roof, and that view's awesome. And I have pictures of all this, so I'll get it out to you guys. Freaking Russ. Focus. That upstairs area, that upstairs bar, you're talking 18th, 19th, 20th floor, and looking all over Copacabana Beach, left and right. And dead in the middle of all of it. If I'm 40 years old, 45 again,
Which you're not.
I'm not. I'm there. If you're 55 and that's your thing, I'm there. If you want to just, I like going to the noise at this point. But when it's time to get away from it and take a siesta, I'm staying at the Sheraton. If you guys want my personal opinion, I'm staying at the Sheraton. It's awesome. And here's the deal, and this is what I want to stress to those. Anybody that's thinking of the Buzios package, which is 3 or 4 nights in, where the rich and famous of Brazil go to relax and party. All right. If you're doing that, I might lean towards the JW because you're going to get the resort feel when you get to Buzios. But if you're in for the 6-night package, Sao Paulo and Rio only, and you want some sort of resort feel, you want to feel, because Brazil, the entire coastline is on the ocean. Obviously, probably a dumb statement. What I'm trying to say is,
It was.
there's thousands of miles of coastline in Brazil, and in Sao Paulo, you're not staying there. So you want to be on the beach, and the beach at the Sheraton is just awesome. And Keenan, I would have sent a ton of G-string bikini shots, but
I saw that comment.
yeah, I can't do it anymore, bro. I'm gonna get a lot of grief for it. So,
Keenan has to go down there and get him himself, apparently.
you guys hang with us for a hot second. I'm not even gonna do another live read. I'm gonna come back and finish this. It'll be 3 more minutes, so you know about Buzios, and then we're gonna get right in that wish list. English, Harmon, Taylor, Mancini. Stick around for a second, you guys. Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 FM Philadelphia, Quimby, Rex Alicious, John Jansen back in studio. Brought to you by friends at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. Back in a few minutes, and we'll get done Brazil. Thanks. What do you think? I know I went over. How many? 250. Yeah. I'll be right back. Get out there in case I'm not back. I'm back. Wow, Marcy's Playground? I mean, they're a one-hit wonder, but actually trying to get somebody to remember the name of the group that performed this song. Can they have Marcy's Playground, 1999. Am I right? 98 or 99? Almost positive 99. Everybody, Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 FM, Philadelphia, Quimby alongside Rex Alicious, just getting some cocktails. 97, damn it. Oh, thought I was on that. John Jansen, my co-host, back in studio. We're talking Brazil right now for the Philadelphia Eagles in September. Almost done with it. For those that have been putting up with the long conversation again, Rio, we're only going to use 2 hotels as it stands. If we need something else, we'll look at it. But the Sheraton and the JW both came back. The difference, here's the fun part. The difference between those two is it's not a terrible amount of money. It might be $250 to $300 per person if you wanted to stay at the JW as opposed to the Sheraton. I will give you once again my opinion. JWs are JWs. They're the top of the line. That's Marriott Bonvoy's 5-star property, and it is. And it's right on Atlantica. It's right in the middle of everything, in the middle of the South Zone of Copacabana Beach. For those that are staying for only 6 nights, doing 3 nights in Sao Paulo and 3 nights in Rio, I can tell you right now, I personally would stay at the Sheraton. It's just, I know the rooms are equivalent. The views are both spectacular. So there's no real difference there. The pool at the Sheraton Grand is 5 times at least, possibly 6 times the size of the pool on the rooftop of the JW Marriott. Now, are you going to spend any time there? I don't know. But here's the thing. You still have to get up and run a bit. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I don't want to focus anywhere. My personal preference is the Sheraton. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. Look up Sheraton Grand Rio. I sent it out in an email last night to people that have already put deposits in. It's just spectacular. It's its own little world, and it's 10 minutes away from everything in Ipanema Beach, including our headquarters, which is going to be Belmont. Anyway, Buzios, and then we'll get this done here. Posada Maravista, Posada Labori. Yeah, I'm not. It took me a long time to figure this out. By the way, Rexy, I don't want you to tell Dan to turn around because we just found out that the 5 Muscovy ducks that we've had to put up with. Take a look. Is now 14 Muscovy ducks.
Where are you looking?
Under the dock.
Oh, yeah. Oh!
Yeah, this isn't good. We have a Muscovy duck problem, and we have a neighbor problem that continues to feed them while these ducks walk across our driveway.
So it's the male ducks that are super ugly. That must be.
I don't know. Right now, every single one of them look like dinner. But anyway,
Not enough meat on the little ones.
You guys know I've talked about Buzios. If you're going to go to Brazil, a trip not including Buzios is just useless. Right? It's the greatest area of Brazil. It's where the rich and famous of Brazil go to party. And remember, that's middle class for us. So don't feel like you're not going to be welcome there. We were in shorts and t-shirts, even at dinner on the Rua das Pedras. Sorry, Rua das Pedras. That's the cobblestone street, the entertainment area. It's awesome. It is nothing but bars, cafes, restaurants. Same as you. We'll talk about that another time. But there's no big hotels in Buzios, and most of your accommodations in Buzios are going to run you $400 or $500 a night. We were able to, Posada Maravista. I stayed there 20 years ago. The place is even more beautiful than it was. They renovate it every year. Posada, I think, is house in Portuguese. And Posada La Reis Labori. 2 what they call big houses. And, it's a very intimate structure. We have 18 rooms at Maravista. That is where I'm going to be staying on both legs of the Buzios, front and back end. Once again, we're running trips leading up to the game and trips leading after the game so we can accommodate as many people as possible. I'm staying at Maravista on both legs. Le Reis Labori is actually a little nicer than Maravista. Better food display. Breakfast is included with everything. It's Fishbone Beach. Lots of surfing. You've seen my videos. All beach chairs, umbrellas included. It's like a big Airbnb, but every single room, even in the smallest category, like double comfort or double garden, has its own bathroom. So you don't have to worry about, sharing that. It's an amazing setup. Prices vary. If you want a sea view room, it's going to go up, but we still got them in less than $500 a night, which is pretty spectacular. For the garden rooms, we got them down even lower than that. You're going to see your Buzios excursions are probably only going to be $400 or $500 more. I was wrong on my expectations of this when I put out an email. So if you received that email, it's going to be a lot than. Keep that in mind. All right, 157. Gentlemen, English, Taylor, Harmon, Mancini, let's talk about the cap. All right. Fletcher Cox, $13 million off. Jason Kelsey, $14 million off. Kevin Byard, $14 million. Brandon Graham, $6.5 million. But I want to tell you that he wants to play again. You know this, and in my opinion, he's the only one that actually wrote his own contract from last season. Rexy, I don't know if you agree with me on that.
I was going to talk about the first two but Brandon Graham actually
Played well.
played well.
Played very well.
And guess what? When he doesn't get hurt, he's probably one of the finest
PFF had him rated
we've had.
really high. I don't even remember, and then what do you have? Another 12 to 15 million in last year's mercenary deals off the books. Add 30 million in new cap count, and what did I say last year? Same thing. 86 plus million to spend. And right now, if you look at every single national media outlet in their sports section, and Jansen, I think you can testify this, everybody's saying, yo, this cap increase helped the Eagles more than any other team. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, because they're kind of not salary cap. They have some guys they need to pay, some guys that are unhappy with their pay. See, I think so, especially because defensive end is where you're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay Josh Sweat. They're going to have to pay Hassan.
Well, hold on. Sweat's only in year 3 of a 4-year. Am I right? He got a 4-year, $44 million 3 years ago.
I also want to say that Howie's the expert at restructuring contracts. That might be something he does with Sweat.
Well, Sweat and Reddick both need to step up. All right, and we're going to talk more about this. Damn it, we're on 2 o'clock. Can we go over a little bit, Jansen? We're good with that? All right. So here's the deal, and this when I talk about wish list, you guys, I want you to keep throwing your thoughts into this. You're going to have to find out at some point if Nolan Smith is going to be the real deal.
Devontae?
Nolan.
Nolan.
Oh my God, am I off? Georgia, defensive end, drafted 21st overall last year. Jansen, help me.
Jordan.
No. Jansen, are you still with
What are
me?
you trying to figure out?
Who did we draft from Georgia last year?
Nolan Smith.
All right.
Nolan Smith last year, yeah.
Don't look at me like that, Rexy. I haven't had any sleep and I'm drinking, so I thought I was wrong for a second. So,
Imagine that.
right. Well, so we all know that that our interior tackles are the construct of this defensive line. Jordan Davis. I'd still like to see. Jansen, how do you feel about Jordan Davis's performance last year?
It's hard not to be disappointed. I believe in the talent. I believe that he could be a good player, but at what point after 2 years and the same reports of the guy's not working hard enough, he's not in the right shape. How many years of that do you have to have until you just realize it's kind of I'm starting to kind of concede that thought of maybe he's just not going to be.
He's not going to pan out.
So-
Greatest prospect, but if he doesn't get his stuff together,
One
see
thing
me, I
that-
caught myself.
Incredible prospect.
One thing that I'm worried about him is that I think he looked at getting to the NFL was the finish line, not performing in the NFL was the new beginning.
It's quite possible. And you know what? We all know Jalen Carter's going to be a player. He already was. Didn't he receive rookie accolades? Did he make the Pro Bowl this year?
He didn't make the Pro Bowl, but I think he was runner-up for
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I think he was
We know he's going to be a player. I actually thought that Jordan Davis that Jalen Carter would help get Jordan Davis in line. Now, maybe it's just getting Fletcher out of the
I thought
mix.
Fletcher Cox was going to get him in line.
Well, you know what? Fletcher's not a leader. He's not. He never has been. All right. But
I think he's not big enough of a leader, but he is a leader. He's not good enough. He
when
should be.
when you've been with a team for as many years as he
He should
has,
be far more advanced as a leader than
you
he is.
you need to be a BG. But at the same time, why did Fletcher ever need to be a leader on a defense, especially a defensive line that already has its Brandon Graham? I don't think it was ever. Jansen, you want to weigh in on that? Because I don't see the need. I like it would be redundant. Brandon Graham is the leader of that defense. Brandon Graham is the leader of that team.
Yes.
Period.
But him being injured a couple times has
It
gaps.
doesn't matter. No, well, I mean, he was out for an entire season.
Yes.
After week 2, I forget what 3 years ago or whatever it was, and guy came back.
Yeah.
Without, but he doesn't need to be playing to be on the sidelines. They know, and as a matter of fact, I believe. And Jansen, please again weigh in on BG versus Fletcher, but I believe that BG could be an even bigger leader when he's injured, because he can school the offense, he can school the defense, he can get everybody riled up. I think bringing back BG is a good idea. Go ahead.
But yeah, I would like to have defensive end depth a little bit more than defensive tackle depth too, because they have the young guys to play with, and as well as outside of just Jalen Carter. So they have a little bit of defensive tackle help already, and they can probably end up drafting.
I think they can get away with it, Jansen. I like Marlon. I like Milton when Milton can stay healthy. I like Ojimo. I like all 3 of these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think they can get away with. Obviously, you would have to add another defensive tackle down the road, whether draft or just signing a low key.
And Ndamukong Suh coming off the couch.
Well, you're right. Something like that. But defensive end, they're going to need a lot of help, and so just having him in that room might be good. He's an effective player still. He's not great or anything what he used to be. He's not going to be a 10-sack guy, but a 4 to 5 sack season for a veteran guy like Brandon Graham,
Hang on real quick. Go ahead. I'm going to get in the room here.
One thing I wanted to add is in the last season, one of the biggest failures was I didn't see any of the leaders that should have been leaders on the team stepping into their leadership roles. Who was the guy that was fired up on the sidelines? He didn't exist last season, and that's why we failed last season.
Hold on a second. Everybody,
Here it comes.
here it comes.
So either way, I was disappointed in Jason Kelsey. I was disappointed
100%.
in Fletcher Cox. These guys should have been the ones firing up, spit flying out of their mouth, screaming on the sidelines,
Why
get your
was
ass
that?
in gear.
Why was that, Rexy?
I don't know what happened last year where it all disappeared.
And coming from, once again, I still never saw Fletcher Cox as that big leader. Okay, I haven't. All right, and I never will. But Brandon Graham and Jason Kelsey, where were those 2 voices when this season started to crumble?
2 of our longest tenured players ever. Where
Ever.
were they on the sidelines?
And
Getting angry
Jansen,
like the fans.
FYI, I'm hoping that we'll either have Zach Berman live next week or we'll do a pre-record. Because as you all know, one of my favorite articles was the unfolding of the paranoia and the micromanagement by Jeffrey Lurie within this organization that ultimately led to the demise of Doug Peterson. There's a all right, let's see here. Unhappy Gilmore. Nolan Smith, damn it. Keenan Harmon, I think finding a replacement for Denard Wilson should be our number 1 priority. Defensive backfield really fell apart when he was left. Let's take a break. Come back. Guys, I want specifics. What I'm going to do when we come back, all right, this is the rest of the show. Jansen, we're going to go straight through and then throw 8 or 10 minutes of ads through the rest. Is that good with you? All right. You guys hang tight because this is an amazing list. You're going to see a list. Guys looking at it in the room right now. You're going to see a list of 20 Eagles players that are hitting the free agent market. Who do you want to see come back? Who do you want to kick out the door? Who do you want to trade for a ham sandwich? there's a lot of thought here, and you guys in the room, Russ, Keenan, unhappy, Lou. I want your opinions on this. You guys, Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports, the Gambler, 102.5 FM, Philadelphia. Real quick, there are big changes coming to Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. New look, next level. Not only does Cheerleaders have the sexiest entertainers in the city, Cheerleaders will be the most beautiful gentlemen's club in Philadelphia. From the stunning new sleek VIP rooms to the best view for all sporting events on their 75-foot video wall. The amazing Chef Felix will be serving the tastiest food in a new state-of-the-art kitchen. Follow Cheerleaders social media at Cheerleaders Philly to see the renovation progress of the best gentlemen's club in Philadelphia. Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports, The Gambler. Once again, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. Quimby, Rex Alicious, John Jansen back in studio. We'll be back for our final long-ass segment right after this.
I think he was just trying.
How much time do you want to do here, Jansen?
I might double here, and that'll leave two breaks in the end.
So 7 minutes?
That sounds good. So about like 6-7 minutes here, yeah.
All right, I'm good with that.
About, yeah. Yeah, let's do that then.
Awesome. Thanks, bro. Shot? Just say yes.
What's up?
Shot?
Sure.
Pure.
So I'm trying to watch my sugar intake.
God, then just do vodka. Fun.
You fucking king.
We're I polished off that Johnny Walker a while ago.
Johnny Walker.
There was a good bottle out there.
Well, I'm gonna shoot Johnny Walker.
What do you guys want to redo the kitchen? We might lose it forever. We got it, Rex. You want to do it? We'll sit down and do it. I'm not going to get in line with that elbow. So go out there, try to get our net.
I was tracking when I was doing my mission, she told me that the mail slot was going locked. We all know that's really good. Yeah. How did this woman get stuff up? I don't know if he just fucking doesn't like that. Yes.
How much time, bro?
Oh, sorry. Leave this open.
Yeah, leave it
I'll let
open,
this-
man. The
I'll
weather's
let this-
fucking beautiful.
I'll let the Dan stink of Dan out. I'm sorry.
Use the
Sorry,
Roca.
so- Now,
Still smells like Rexy in there? Go after Dalton Schultz, really? Isn't Dalton Schultz the guy that played for Dallas? So, I mean, he was also the guy that got franchise tagged, and as a result, left. Where did he go after that? He was in a playoff team this year. Houston Texans. So, really, Russ. That's what you want to go for? I mean, with Dallas Goedert and an offense that obviously isn't focusing on a tight end. We're going to talk about that in a second. Matter of fact, as soon as we come back. Hang out with a Colombian woman, bro. You'll figure it out. Or 8 of them. I don't think we keep Stoll necessarily. I mean, he's not going to get a big contract, but the guy's a blocking tight end where Dallas Goedert is not. No, call top Dom Law. You can't leave this here. It blows off. At the very least, just throw it somewhere where it can't blow away.
all right. Keep that dry, though.
I'm not going to interrupt the offspring.
Keep them. They're coming to Hard Rock.
Stevie Nicks tonight.
They actually get some really good acts in there, dude.
Oh, dude. Green Legion Radio, Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 FM Philadelphia, brought to you by our friends at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. We've got about a 40-minute segment coming up right now. Stevie Nicks at the Hard Rock Seminole tonight. My favorite holiday of the year. What do you think it is, Rexy?
That's a good question. I want to say what's coming up soon. I don't know. President's Day?
Nope. Jansen, take a guess.
President's Day actually passed.
My favorite holiday. Second. Halloween.
Oh, sexy girls walking around.
No,
Barely
not
nothing.
sexy girls, slutty girls. Everything, slutty nurse, slutty
everything.
maid. You know,
Slutty
whatever
vampire,
it is. All right? Slutty vampire.
Slutty
everything.
angel, slutty devil, slutty.
But I
everything.
found out that I'm completely wrong. That is now my second favorite holiday.
So that would push St. Patrick's to third.
First favorite holiday is anytime Tim McGraw plays at the Seminole Hard Rock, because Every girl was slutty cowgirl. Everyone.
Can you overdose on slutty cowgirl and Daisy Dukes or no?
I want you to leave for a little bit.
Come back with a better attitude.
Yeah, no, seriously. I don't know if I want you to come back with a better attitude.
See, I want the variety of Halloween. It gives me the slutty vampire, the slutty
Okay.
devil,
No.
and the slutty cowgirl.
No. I went over to the Hard Rock like 3 days before I went to Brazil, Jansen. Didn't know it was Tim McGraw concert. What the hell?
Tripping over your tongue, were you?
Oh, that it was following me 3 feet behind. It was embarrassing. Yeah, try not to be a creeper at my age. Try to not, look at the 21-year-olds, even though, hey, let's be honest, they look great.
On a bad night, that place has lots of trim in there.
Whoa, Rob, trim. Jansen, can we get away with that? Excellent. Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Now let's get back to football before we get a letter. With 86 to 90 million in cap, and Russ, I'm getting to Dalton Schultz. We're going to talk about that. Need to get younger. I agree with that. Well, you know what? Let's talk about Dalton Schultz first. You guys, I think I was screaming about it. Jansen, I think you were screaming about it with me this year. What? Dallas Goedert is a stud, a complete and total stud. His yak is out of control. He doesn't go down with the first hit, and he likes to administer punishment. Sometimes that winds up putting him, on the DL for a little bit, but
And he blocks too.
he blocks. He does. He's a full service tight end, giggity. And I don't know, Jansen. So Russ Taylor, one of our good friends, one of our great friends in the program, says like to go after Dalton Schultz, who's been a journeyman ever since he got pissed at Jerry Jones for franchise tagging him a few years ago. Was in Houston, and I mean, Dallas Goedert didn't get used enough. I know we're gonna talk about Jack Stoll because he's also on that free agent list, but Jansen, weigh in on the tight end situation. What's the scenario for you there?
I'd be surprised. Dalton Schultz is starting tight end in the NFL, so if their team is get money. I don't know if
It's not the Eagles, right?
If the Eagles, I don't know if the Eagles are going to want to pay that kind of money to a backup tight end. I don't know if they're going to want to.
Well, he's not
Like Dalton Schultz is a player.
he's not.
Schultz isn't a backup tight end. Dalton Schultz is a starting tight end. I think he honestly ends up just going back to Houston because he worked very well in Houston. I think they want to keep most of the parts of that offense for C.J. Stroud. I don't know. Schultz really doesn't seem like a need.
He doesn't move the needle for me on necessity, especially considering how awful our defensive backfield is.
I mean, everything to me, almost everything has to be spent.
Okay, agreed. All right, so let me go through my list so I feel like I've done due diligence. First of all, when we talk about all this money that the Eagles have to spend, if you tell me that signing Landon Dickerson and Devontae Smith are not absolute priorities here, then I think you don't know anything about football. Rexy, thoughts on that?
I would love to have Swift back. My cynical response is, I don't care who we sign as running back, as long as we start running the ball.
Good. Well, that had nothing to do with Landon Dickerson and Devontae Smith, but I appreciate it.
Oh, I thought you meant DeAndre.
Jansen, thoughts on? I mean, I don't believe AJ Brown has the career Hall of Fame numbers that he's having right now without a complimentary receiver like Devontae Smith. And I said numerous times last year that Devontae was the best receiver on this team, just from his catching ability, his knowledge of the field and where his feet are, his running of patterns, everything with him is crisp. AJ's a dog. Everybody wants to have that kind of dog in him. once an A.J. Brown.
He was the only guy angry on the sideline.
Exactly. All right. But Jansen, weigh in on that. Do you feel like Landon Dickerson and Devontae are the we got to get them locked up one way or the other?
Yeah, I think so. I think offensive line, you just want to keep continuity there because I agree with you on Smith. He's the more polished receiver than A.J. Brown is. I'm actually a lot higher on A.J. Brown than what you kind of described there. I think he dominated in Tennessee. It was just him, and he dominated, and he made Ryan Tannehill have a career as a starter.
Agreed.
I think he's a very good player. He's just such a game changer. He is such a game-breaking player. I agree. I don't think he's as polished as a route runner. I don't think he maybe understands.
I don't think he has to be.
As much as Devontae Smith, but that's the thing is I don't even know if he has to be because he's such a great deep ball threat because of his size. When he does catch the ball, he is amazing after the catch. He's just such a game-breaking player. But I would like to have that on the other side of Devontae Smith, and I do think Smith is. I don't think he's had the numbers that's going to maybe warrant a huge contract. Like Devontae Smith's not going to be a top 10 to 15 big receiver. I don't think it will. So you might be able to squeeze in a contract.
I gotta. Speaking of squeezing in, I gotta get it to the room here. Smith and Brown go together like strange coochie and a condom. Thanks, Keenan Harmon. Russ Taylor, Brian Murphy would be the tight end to bring in, and no locker room music will bother him. Way to go, replacements, Russ Taylor. A.J. Brown, he's like Greg Garrity, the trash man. Whatever throws up, he brings down. You guys are really messed up in the head. You know that, right? Like, you too, Rexy.
I think Devontae Smith has to be more polished because he's relatively small. A.J. Brown's going to run someone over like a fucking runner.
There you go, Rexy. Did you get the dump button?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, good. Ready? Remember how we're supposed to be polished as radio hosts?
Sorry.
It's okay. That's all right. I like you fired up. You're paying the fine. So I agree with you. Devontae has to be more crisp with his route. He has to be more aware of sideline presence. But what you've seen, and Jansen, I do want you to throw in on this, anything thrown towards Devontae on the sidelines for whatever reason, it's not all the time, but damn if it isn't 75+%, he finds a way to, A, catch the ball. By the way, Devontae has better hands than A.J. Brown.
Agreed.
All right? But in addition to that, when his sideline presence is almost disturbing. Jansen, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, hands are better. I think body control is really good for Smith, but A.J. Brown's also good.
I'm not, Jansen. I'm not taking away from AJ. All right, look. Honestly, if you're asking me if I'd rather have AJ or Devontae on my team, I'm going to tell you AJ,
Me too.
without question. All right, for all the reasons that you've said, AJ can turn a game in a second. AJ can run people over. Devontae's not going to run people over. You found out what happened when Devontae tried to get tough in the Buccaneers playoff game. He's trying to make some plays happen. You know what? And I commend him for him. But one of the three awful turnovers in Philadelphia Eagles playoff history came from him at the 5-yard line or 4-yard line when he was just trying to make a play because nobody else was. So you know what? Actually, credit to Devontae. But he's not strong enough to hold the ball when you got a 220-pound strong safety coming over the top and whacking it at you. Giggity. So, again, I agree with you, AJ, but
Yeah, I do like that you have two different skill sets in wide receiver. They can do two different things. You can, and especially short yard distances, or you need just a tough first down. Like Devontae Smith's route running is really good, but A.J. Brown has big playmaking ability. It's good to have different wide receivers for different use cases in different scenarios, and the Eagles have that. I think the Eagles have a really good wide receiver group, not just Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, but also Dallas Goedert there as well. He's really good at catching passes on third down. He's a really good third down pass catcher. So I like all of those things. I don't think you belong promoting Devontae.
let's start going through this list. Albert, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Tight end that the Eagles already signed to an extension. How the hell do you say that last name, Jansen? Hold on,
Good luck. No.
yeah. Aloe. What do you got?
No relation.
No, so, and hold on, I got to credit to this list. Where did I do it? Glenn Irby from Eagles Wire. You guys, Eagles had 19 players hitting the free agent market that had some sort of role in this last season. Keenan, you guys are all over replacements today. Devontae is wiry. He's wiry. No, say it with me. Wiry. What the wiry? Where you know?
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, thank you. Wiry. This is the leg. This is the kicker. I'm wiry. He's wiry. So giving credit to Glenn Irby from Eagles Wire for this article. DeAndre Swift. All right. Spot Track has Swift's market value at 4 years, $22 million. Do you bring him back? Jansen first, Rexy second.
I guess you can. I would like them to actually just get a long-term running back. And I like Swift. I like what Swift did, but it doesn't seem like they want to commit to him long-term. Really, nobody has committed DeAndre Swift long-term. Detroit didn't want to keep him after his rookie contract, and the Eagles get him. It still seems like there's not that big of a market. I thought he was fine last year. I don't know if the running problems were him or just the Eagles running game in general.
Or the offensive line. Hold on. I want to jump in. You know what?
You're right.
No. Well, we're gonna get to that in a second. You know what? I'm gonna talk about the entire running back situation, and then let both of you loose. All right. So I already talked about DeAndre Swift. Right now, you have to recognize that the only running back on this roster that's still under contract is Kenny Gainwell. And we all know how I feel about him. I feel he's peaked, and where he can get you some decent results at times, he's just not consistent. Excuse me. Hold on, I'm not done. I gotta get through this. I agree. I gotta get through this. Hold on. He's not consistent enough. Blame some of that, however, on the soft and entire offensive line, with the exception of Lane Johnson, who was the only one. And it pains me to say that, knowing full well how much Jordan Mailata is a friend of the program, and how much we like him. But Lane Johnson seemed like the only one that came to play last year. But in addition to that, did Boston Scott this last year? I don't know. Did it? No. I want to go through all running backs, and then you give me your synopsis. And then ready? Here we go. Rashad Penny. Wouldn't it be funny if he was the one that got re-signed? All right, Jansen. The running back situation in Philadelphia seemed excellent coming into the season last year.
Sure seemed that way.
Right? And, trying to make a repeat back to the Super Bowl. And now, thoughts. This thing's a disaster. A disaster in the making. Thoughts.
Yeah, I think they have to commit to running back. Maybe that's through the draft. Maybe they draft a running back second, third round. I don't believe how he's going to do that. And now we also got to think of what the running scheme is going to look like with Kellen Moore. It's going to change. I think there's going to be a lot more under center. So does that mean Rashad Penny comes back? Because Rashad Penny is probably their biggest true running back. So is that somebody you keep around, even though you're right?
Jansen, wouldn't that be hysterical if he came back?
It'd be hysterical, right? But it would make a lot of sense if that's kind of what Kellen Moore wants to do. And Kellen Moore is going to be different. I think they are going to be under center a little bit more. It's not going to be strict RPO. And if that's the case, your only true running back is Rashad Penny. So I would think about it.
Does Rashad even want to come back?
That I'd probably not. Probably not.
Hey guys. Hi guys. Thanks for the heated cushion. See ya.
I completely agree. But he's going to sign, if he signs anywhere, it's probably going to be at a minimum. It's not going to be anything that he already signed at a minimum with the Eagles. And I think the only thing for him would be, is he going to be on the active roster? And if the Eagles can guarantee him that, I'm sure he might come back. And especially, again, Kellen Moore doing things differently. Maybe he can entice him, hey, here's my plans are in this offense, here's why you fit this. DeAndre Swift would fit, but again, I think they need more. It feels like they need more from him.
Well, you had Miles Sanders, and you recovered for 4 years. Honestly, we had that situation. But I'm gonna throw this question to Rexy right now. You have a Kellen Moore who did have a tail end Ezekiel Elliott, a Tony Pollard. Are we going to see? And this is so much why I want Zach Berman on this show to discuss this. Does it even matter? You say, Kellen Moore, okay, we're going to be under center, and I get that. And that's awesome because nothing makes more sense to me than being in a freaking shotgun when you need a yard. All right? Nothing makes more sense to me than that. But is it really even going to matter? I believe Kellen Moore was a very balanced attack offensive coordinator. Lean a little to the pass side, but that's just because of the way of the league, but not the peaks and valleys that we've seen with the Eagles this year. Does it even matter, Rexy, who they sign at running back, simply because that is awesome? Everybody, Lee Gage just joined us. Lee, sit down, please.
So one thing I think the poor evaluation you're giving for the offensive line is unfair because we didn't run the ball enough, and we never established the run all season long, and we haven't done it for seasons now. And everyone knows what we're doing, and when the offensive line is catching the defensive line the whole game, they're never going to be able to have any fear where they have that second delay where they worried we're going to run the ball. We didn't have that this year. The other problem is that I don't really care who we have as running back because it doesn't matter if we don't run the ball or establish the running game. The other problem I have is that I disagree with you on this, is that they're not paying anybody, any running back. They're not giving any running back long-term contracts.
Well, nobody in the league is.
And I don't see where the Swift's market value is 4 years, $22 million. Where's that?
That's Spot Track.
Who's producing
It's
that?
It's a Spot Track, Jansen. You know Spot Track. It's pretty reputable organization when it comes to calling out what people are supposed to be getting paid.
I don't see DeAndre Swift at this point. You think?
I mean, remember, DeAndre's been healthy. All right, DeAndre's been a healthy running back, and he's still he's coming out of his 4th year. All right, yeah, he was saved. He was saved by the Eagles this year, just like Rashad Penny. At most he had 20 carries in one game, and I think his average was less than 15. I mean, he caught 30 balls out of the backfield for 214. I got it here. I don't know what it was.
Can I add something with
Sure.
Rashad Penny? Does a running back lose a step because he doesn't play, and he's not staying in football shape because he's not playing football?
100%.
Or does he get rested? Well, you can't rest a guy for a season.
Well, no, but all right. First of all, and we're going to talk about Derrick Henry as well, because this is a name that keeps coming up. All right, Derrick Henry was in the mix for a trade from Tennessee last year, and nothing wound up taking place. But if we all remember Shady McCoy, all right, aside his antics in nightclubs in Philadelphia, Shady was a guy that needed 25 carries to bust one. All right, if he only carried the ball 15 times, he wasn't going to do it. All we were waiting for every time Shady was on the field or starting was, all right, give this guy the ball enough times, and he's going to bust one for at least 50. And I think that happened almost every time. J9, right? You want to get on? Take the mic, please.
Yeah.
Hold on. I had it turned down. Do you got the volume up on your headset?
Yep.
John Jansen, meet Janine Christie, J9. I think you might have met her before, but
Yeah, I was on the Tampa show.
get that mic just a little closer to you and point
about
it
an
down.
inch away, right?
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
So you remember the Shady McCoy era?
Of
I would
course.
love a shot, Dan. Thank you.
Remember when he was at Pitt too?
But wasn't it always the case that he needed reps
Mhm.
to get into rhythm? And I think that's the same with DeAndre Swift.
Absolutely.
What did you Spot Track? We're talking about free agents
Okay.
and possible who do you want to keep that was already on the team this
Swift
year?
is one of them.
Well,
but,
right now,
yeah.
Spot Track has him getting paid $22 million over 4 years.
Well, we know how he won't re-sign him on
All
that.
right, there we go.
There we go.
DeAndre Swift, yeah, got to make him a team. Yeah, a team member. 4 years, $22 million. Yep, he's gone.
So what he says.
Thank you. And Dan Leonardo, everybody.
Thanks.
Dan Leonardo, senior graphic artist for Amazon, looking for new work. Anybody wants to talk about that, reach out to me. J9, who's the most important person on the team that you want to re-sign right now? Ready? Hold on a second. You know what? I didn't give you the list.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me give you the full list. Ready? All right. DeAndre Swift, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny, Quez Watkins, see ya. Julio Jones, but thought offense wasn't enough to gauge if he has anything left in those legs. Olamide Zacchaeus, I'd bring him back as a fourth receiver.
Yeah, definitely.
Marcus Mariota.
Gone.
Well, if you think Tanner McKee is going to show up, why are you going to pay Marcus Mariota another $7
I don't know
million?
if you heard, they cut him the other day.
Who?
They released him out of his contract. Mariota.
Mariota.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They-
See ya.
Driscoll. This is a tough one. All right, you've got both Sua Opeta and Driscoll on the free agent list this year. So, Sua Opeta, let's be honest, he had 400 plus snaps this year, and you got Jason Kelsey leaving, Cam Jurgens moving over to center. I almost think that this is going to be interesting. I don't think the Eagles want to see Jack Driscoll as a starter.
Right.
Love him in the backup role, which means you're either going to have to spend your first round pick, which they don't want to, on an offensive lineman. They want to take cornerback this year. All right. Offensive lineman, I think you have to re-sign Sua Opeta, and he is going to get money from a team. It's almost going to be that big pudding factor.
Who's the guy we lost to the Steelers?
Samalu.
Yeah, I mean
That
that was a
big
big
loss for us. Yeah.
loss for us.
Huge
Yeah.
loss. And, let's not go back to the Fijian excellent royalty here, but all doing shots. Thank you. I just don't think you can get rid of Sua Opeta. And Jack Driscoll might be a casualty of that signing. So, I don't know. You also have 9 draft picks. All right? Again, Sua Opeta is going to test the market, and he should. And I thought he was, and he went up. Hold on, let's talk about this, Jansen. You're going to know names better than I am. There was a gauntlet run that Sua Opeta, because Jurgens was injured, he had to go up against Aaron Donald. He had to go up against. Do you remember all these names? It was like 5 games in a row, and Opeta only gave up one sack, 2 tackles, and 19 pressures. Jansen, do you remember some of these other defensive tackles he had to go up against? Do you? This is fun, and I don't know. Is this racial profiling? Sayamalu was your right tackle, right guard, and then basically hands it to Cam Jurgens, who didn't play as many snaps as Sua Opeta this year. Why do both of those players give away the snap count? If you've noticed, all right, on almost every snap, both Isaac Sayamalu and Sua Opeta were looking at the back, and as soon as they turned, snapped. So if I'm a defensive lineman, I'm absolutely jumping that count. I'm over top. I'm doing what's his name? LeVar Arrington in Washington when he jumped over the center and actually got somebody on a play that nobody's ever seen in their life other than some silly movie like Little Giants or, you know, any. You know where I'm going with this.
LeVar Leap.
What was it? The LeVar Leap?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Jansen, weigh in. On why these guys are giving away the snap count. Why is your right guard for the last 4 seasons look back at the quarterback and then turn their head, look at every offensive play, pull up any game, pull up any highlight. Doesn't matter if the right guard's turning his head forward and immediately following that the ball is snapped, which has happened every time. Oh my God, I'm going to bludgeon you in the head with something heavy next time I see you. I'm not asking that. I get what it is, but it gives away the snap count. It's not a silent count. It's not a silent count. No, hold on a second. Bull crap. It's not a silent count if Aaron Nola tips his hat before every slider.
Oh my God, did we get a Phillies? All right, moving on, because we're not going to agree with this.
All right. Well, here's a. Here.
If we don't run the ball, it doesn't matter.
It all boils down to this. Doesn't even matter. Leadership. Leadership. All right. So, ready? Here's a fun run here for the rest of the players that are free agents now that played for the Eagles last year. Jack Stoll. I like the guy. Green Legion Radio Players Show guest. Big corn-fed Nebraska mule. Mullet. Doesn't give a damn. Great blocker. Doesn't drop the ball. Of all of his targets, I think he missed 3 last year. I mean, his targets weren't that much. He might have been targeted 20 times, but that's still, that's still 87%. That's, you're not hurting yourself there. But here we go. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. The gauntlet run of free agents. And this
favorite subject.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All right, here we go. You know what? I'm gonna talk first about Bradley Roby, who I'd like to see come back. You should get him pretty cheap. All right. Rick Lovato, he doesn't get quite the accolades that a long snapper we've had in the past does, but he's so consistent. What are you gonna do? Not give him the extra $100,000 on the increase?
Longest career of any player position is
Long snapper, of course. Braden Mann.
You did all right. He was better than Sipos.
I'm bringing him back, but here we go. Right? Seriously. But here we go. All right. I'm just gonna throw all 4 of them in one drink, throw it in the blender, and hope I don't taste too much hair. Nick Morrow, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, and Sean Bradley. You have got to be. You know what I want to say? What the? You've got to be. I'm not, because I'm going to make sure that Rexy's the only one that screwed this broadcast up today by dropping, not an F-bomb. We don't need
through it.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. But Nick Morrow, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, Sean Bradley. All right, this was your linebacker core. This was your linebacker core. Other than Patrick Johnson, who might have played 12 snaps all season. All right. Yes. Diaz, if you're listening, kid. Oh, wait. Diaz. Jansen, cue it up.
Here we go.
Don't you dare get rid of that.
Yeah. It's a cornerstone.
Yes, I am. So, Diaz, if you're listening, yes, I am talking about linebacker and
That's your cue.
yes, thank you, Vera. Appreciate that. He shot my big toe, or my pinky toe. Shot my pinky toe, not the big toe. Anyway, Nick Morrow, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard. To be honest with you, Nick Morrow in the beginning came out on fire. I think he had one game with 3 sacks. Might have been week 2 or 3. You know, coming out of Helen. Zach Cunningham at times showed some semblance of what he had in Houston before the injury. Shaq Leonard, you know, when you needed that extra body, you know, not a bad move. Sure, if you're trying to make a Super Bowl run, I'm going with older, experienced. I've been there already. Talent. Sean Bradley, you know, his dad's awesome. Great friend of the program, follows us around. Giants fan, you still have a fundamental flaw, fundamental character flaw, Mr. Bradley. Just making sure. You know, this whole Giants fan for no reason. I mean, seriously, put it in a box and drop it at the bottom of the sea. But Sean Bradley, he hasn't been on the field enough for anybody to gauge whether or not he's worth bringing back. And you know, I get it if you're bringing him back at the league minimum and you're doing what you did. Who is Okwada? Who's the free agent signing? Who did the Eagles sign linebacker last week or 2 weeks ago, Jansen? No, but they gave him like a $2.5 million deal, which means he's half the player Kaiser White is or was. So
That was very foolish letting him go. I thought it was.
No, it wasn't foolish letting him go. All right, start reading through this. Start reading through the lines. He went to Arizona where he has absolutely zero shot of going to a Super Bowl over being a local favorite and fan of the Eagles his entire life for a total of $500,000 a year. Maybe that $500,000, $1 million total over that 2-year contract. I don't know. Maybe his agent got in his head. All right, but the Eagles offered him, you know, just under that. We're talking about a dysfunctional team foundationally, if that's even a word. I'm going to go back to it every time. I'm going to do it until we get Zach Berman on air with us because he's going to shed every bit of light that I've been trying to tell you guys for the last 2.5, 3 years. All right? This team is effed up, and it starts at the top. Give credit where credit's due. All right? Jeffrey Lurie, thank you for not being Norman Brayman.
Yeah. There's a blast from the past.
There it is. But, you know, that's the sidestep. All right? Thank you for having this much concern. Thank you for being this engaged. Okay? I have no problem with his engagement. All right? I have no problem with his interest in wanting to be helpful, in wanting to be influential, in wanting things to pan out or happen the way he wants. He owns the team. Guess what? He's in charge. All right? But where does your ego end so that the things that have been crushing us, you've gotten us to the promised land so many times, and it hasn't been as much as it was in the early to mid 2000s. And if you remember the makeup of the team during that period, you're talking about Troy Vincent, you're talking about Bobby Taylor, you're talking about a Michael Lewis who died after his 3rd year or his 2nd year, but along with Brian Dawkins, you're talking about a Carlos Emmons, You're talking about a Jeremiah Trotter. You're talking about a Sean Help. Came over from Washington. Unbelievable weak side linebacker who Joe Jaravicius dogged in that final touchdown against Tampa at the Link in the NFC Championship game. But we're also talking about a line that had Hollis Thomas. Oh, God, help. Javon Curse. All right.
Hugh Douglas.
Hugh Douglas. All right. Why, how have you walked away? I get it. Bad signings from the Raiders. Who was that knucklehead?
Nandi.
Yeah, Nandi Oshawa. I get it. I get it. Maybe you got a bad taste in your mouth, but you got to spit it out. Brush your teeth, spit it out, and start over. All right. We got to the promised land with really crappy receivers. All right. Really crappy receivers because you were spending your money on the defense. And Bobby Taylor, all right, one of my favorite Eagles players, knucklehead from a personal standpoint. Bobby, you know every reason why I'm saying that. If you want to give me a call and I can yell at you about it some more, let me know. But Bobby Taylor, probably the best cornerback the Eagles ever had. And I say that over Eric Allen. I say that over Troy Vincent. All right. I say that over a number of players. You know why? Because you never heard Bobby Taylor's name during a game. You know why? Because they never threw his way. He was a blanket. He was a dog. He was a dog, dude. You could not get anywhere open if Bobby. First of all, we thought Rasul Douglas was going to be the second coming of Bobby Taylor because of the wingspan. Almost like a John Harris who never worked. All right. Thanks, Norman. That was yours. All right. But literally, Rasul Douglas's wingspan was like 4 inches longer than his actual height. Well, we all know this, right? Tip to tip is your height. Supposed to be. Rasul Douglas, same as Bobby Taylor. All Bobby Taylor had to do was this. Throw his arm out. One left. Or boom, gone. Pass block. No attempt. So back to the method of madness here. You got to where along the way, and I almost think the Darius Slay re-signing was a fan move, and sometimes you have to make those. All right, why the hell did you let Darius Slay go? And he had 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown, PFF rating of the number 7 rated cornerback in the league. Well, that didn't work. Maybe we find out now why the Giants let Bradbury go.
He played great 2 seasons ago. Last year he was awful.
He hasn't been the same since that Super Bowl game when he got called for the penalty.
Does that change a man? Does that change a human? Does it change a woman? Does it change anybody in sports? It's possible. But you know what? He had an entire season to get that devil off his shoulder, that monkey off his back. But if I'm Howie right now, the only person I'm keeping in that backfield is Reed Blankenship. That's it. Because Reed is the only one that doesn't fear hitting. Fired? You're not. No, I'm not giving you $14 million. You were an absolute kitty cat, and I mean that in the absolute giggities of the world. All right, you didn't want to hit a soul.
It was like football follies watching us tackle from the secondary this season.
I'm wiping the whole slate clean. All right, I love Sidney. Everybody loves Sidney. All right. But outside of that, and Reed Blankenship, maybe Roby. I don't know. Who else? We're going to end the show here in a hot second. Jansen, I know I've been on a run here. I've been on a rant.
You're going.
Rant.
Well, you know what? Tell me what I've said that's inaccurate or wrong.
it led to other issues in other places. They got beat bad at the line.
How do you go from a team that had so much success while you were concentrating on that linebacker position? I mean, I get it. You know, it's easy to have a Jeremiah Trotter, but you know, Jeremiah Trotter was drafted what, 97, 96? He was a Ray Rhodes guy. So they re-signed Trotter, all right? But how do you just dismiss that entire position? I understand that the secondary, all right, they're not necessarily trying to dismiss that situation or that position, but they haven't made a lot of right calls. They made one, CJ and let him walk. All right? And I get what happened. I think, well, honestly, and I'll take the fine for this, I think both of you are assholes. All right? Both sides. All right? But CJ found out that his market value was only $8 million. All right? And then we offered him $3 million. Now he's going to be back looking for a contract. I don't think Detroit's re-signed him already. But they, you know, this cut and paste fix in the secondary and the linebacker position are driving me up a wall. And Jansen, I want you to weigh in on this, and I want J9 to weigh in on this, and I want you to weigh in on this, and then we're out of this because I want to drink some more. You have devoted so much money over the last 7 to 8 years at the defensive tackle and defensive end positions. All right. You have Jalen Carter locked up for 4 more years. You have Jordan Davis locked up for 3 more years. You have Nolan Smith locked up for 4 more years. All right. Are we going to see? This is where I'm going to lose my mind. Are we going to see him, Howie, or Jeffrey, ignore once again the positions at linebacker and secondary to spend more money on a defensive front four that got you 40 sacks this year? When they're on, they're on. Ready? 70 sacks the year before, but it doesn't matter because the asshole that owns the Cardinals has a vendetta. I think Jeffrey Lurie slept with his cousin. I don't know what happened, but the Arizona Cardinals have wet the field twice on us in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, and they tampered with, doesn't matter, don't want him, don't care, Jonathan Gannon, but that son of a bitch needed to have more attention to the defensive game plan before the Super Bowl than anybody. So that's 3 times the Arizona Cardinals went by and went, no, that's my finger. Right? So I'm not down with this team anymore when it comes to the Cardinals. But anyway, Jansen, go ahead, please.
I do think that Howie Roseman kind of gets stuck in his ways because the analytics will tell you value is at defensive tackle, defensive end. But it's funny to see a team, the best defense in the league this year was Baltimore. And Baltimore spent in linebacker Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, and then also they drafted right after the Eagles,
Amen,
Kyle Hamilton. Game-changing. I do think Howie Roseman's got stuck in his ways, and I think he has to realize that you can't neglect positions. You do need talent everywhere. But even linebackers who you don't consider have value, or safeties that don't have value, can still change games. And they change games more. They can change games for the Eagles. He's just going to have to, at this point, it's just find the best player available in drafts. If there is a way to sign a guy that's really good, sign him. But to completely neglect the position and hurt them. I mean, it did. Last year, that was the biggest issue. They gave up easy yards, easy chunk plays almost every single down because their linebackers couldn't tackle. That can't happen again. Easy plays like that can't happen.
J9, how do you feel? I think Howie has been great at finding that one-year mercenary talent. All right, Kaiser White is one of those examples. All right, CJ is one of those examples. But that all happening at the same time has been very low percentage. thankfully, they've drafted Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And I believe the reason that I say this is predominantly not because of the talent, but because they're going to be here for 5 years and they can develop some sort of continuity on the line. But it's not just continuity on the line, it's continuity in the defense. So how can you continue to try to plug players in and, hey, well, they haven't played together, so we'll have to wait till week 8. Why do we have to wait till week 8 every freaking year?
Yeah, that's the problem. We have to hit our draft picks. Now, I will give credit to Howie. If he screws up in the draft, which we know he has,
Agreed.
ruined one
He's
of my
been
best
better.
Yeah, he's been a lot better. And I like that he's going after these SEC boys. They're winners. They're champions. So they have that mentality. But, we really need to hit in the draft because we can't do this plug and play every year. Because now we lose Swift, going to the offense, we lose Swift, they're going to bring in someone for another year deal, that fits their budget. Or that's my biggest
Wouldn't
concern.
it be funny if they brought back Rashad Penny?
Right? For a penny. Yeah. He barely played this year. But linebacker, I mean, since I've been a fan, I don't remember us having a stud linebacker. Like, I really don't. Like, I think
Lee, who was the last stud linebacker? Trotter?
I mean, Trotter and Stuart
Yeah, that's
Bradley.
one.
I mean, really?
Stuart Bradley. I mean, you know what you're reaching for it.
Yeah, right.
Well, hold on a
Double
second.
back.
No. You know what? Let's pull this back. T.J. Edwards really,
I missed him.
really came on. He learned, slowly kept developing. Now he's playing for Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And that team's going absolutely nowhere. But he took what he needed. He got offered $24 million. I'm taking it too. See you later. Eagles aren't going to give me that. But that's the only way. The only way you win a Super Bowl, Rexy, and you can confirm or deny this, is if you hit on enough draft picks so that you have enough money to complement with other free agent signings. But I don't believe anymore, because it's only happened and worked twice that we've seen it. All right, where you can cut and paste at these specialty positions. Linebacker's a specialty position. Everyone is a specialty position. All right, you linebacker. All right, so when the front four don't do squat like they did this year,
You gotta stop.
you gotta start the next line of defense is linebacker, and they had nothing. So, where do you go? Where do you go with this?
See, I think one of Howie's problems is that he's obsessed with that short-term value, that's established talent, to fill the holes instead of.
I disagree. I don't think he's obsessed with it. I think they just undervalue the positions in which they fill using that formula.
Correct. It's mostly showing in the linebacker and running back positions.
Correct.
So we aren't afraid to sign long-term deals to offensive linemen, the quarterback, defensive linemen. But when it comes to linebacker and running back, he's obsessed with just patching it, and that's his failure. Those are the areas where if we had more talent that was going to be around for longer, that we might get over that hump of getting to the Super Bowl and winning it.
So, that being said, all right, let's talk about where we were for a while. There was an offensive line 3 years ago or 4 years ago coming off the Super Bowl that had a total of $66 million in payroll. All right? We don't have that right now. All right? And the reason why we don't have that now is because, obviously draft. All right? Landon Dickerson's going to need to get paid. We got to have him. That blind side, got to be taken care of. But here we go. Think about this for a hot second. All right. You're paying out all that money to that single position, and now you're not. So can't you divert to that? What I'm saying is, I think this team is destined to seldom success. Continual consistency, good, but getting to the top is going to be very rare until their fundamental approach to draft changes. All right, Nakobe Dean. We're all finding out why Nakobe Dean fell to the third round right now. All right, but like you said, Jansen, Kyle, in that safety position. All right, but he was Notre Dame, right?
Georgia.
Yeah, no.
Kyle Hamilton. He was.
Kyle Hamilton,
Yeah.
Notre Dame. All right. Until you start drafting those positions again, and go ahead, pay all that money for these positions on the line in the trenches. It's what they do. But if you're going to pay all that money in the trenches, you damn well better draft high in the other positions. It just seems like a compliment. Jansen, talk about that, and then Fairwealthy from us on this side. Doesn't it make sense if you're going to spend that amount of money in the trenches? Shouldn't you be drafting high in the other positions? And that's including linebacker.
Yeah, they want to draft. What they're doing is drafting just elite athletes. So there's a thing called relative athletic score, and Jordan Davis had a 10 out of 10. But they're trying to draft the best athletes, and that works. And a lot of it's going to be on the defensive line and again value positions. But at some point, you got to start just drafting really good football players as well, and drafting players in positions that, even though you
Of need.
if they're tough, if they're good, right, if they're good enough, they're going to change the game. It doesn't matter what position they are. Kyle Hamilton can't tell me Howie Roseman looks at Kyle Hamilton now and says that guy doesn't change the game enough. That guy was a complete game changer. The Ravens defense is not nearly as good as it is without Kyle Hamilton. So he can say all these things.
And everybody said it. Everybody said it.
But I completely disagree with the way it's thinking. Now, I probably felt that way too at some point. I was into what analytics said.
At some point in time, we're gonna talk. At some point, I'm gonna remind you of this statement. I'm really into analytics. Just at some point, we're gonna rehash that. One more time, everybody. Nick Morrow, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, Sean Bradley. Wow. Jansen.
Yeah.
WrestleMania tailgate.
Where do we?
Nice. Okay, I didn't know where you were going. You just said Jansen. Yeah. What are you going to do now?
Anytime I go like this, Jansen. From here on, that means WrestleMania tailgate.
Nice. That sounds good. I'm proud of that.
Final thoughts, Pro. I know I interrupted you.
No, I like WrestleMania. So, 1100 social WrestleMania tailgate.
My man. Hosted by Tough Cover and John Jansen, and one guest appearance probably by me, and Rob Believers. Ladies before gentlemen, J9, final thoughts?
We got to have a good draft, and let's free agency. We'll see what happens.
Go Sixers,
Yeah, go Phils.
go Phils.
Go Titans. They're up 14-9 right now.
Leadership, what do you got?
Well, I was going to say about something like linebacker. What do you wipe the slate clean and start over? We can't do that.
Well, no, you've got Nakobe Dean locked up for 5 years at $800,000. He's an inconsequential risk. All right. Yeah, hope he can stay healthy. You know why Kaiser White left? Not only because he felt slighted, but he didn't like Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
We all know that.
The other,
That's been passed down from numerous positions over at the NovaCare complex.
the other thing I'd like to say is, once again, where were the leaders last year that were angry on the sidelines, and are they going to show up next year? Because I don't want to re-sign them.
There's only one
if
that's
they're
going
not
to be
gonna
there.
show up.
Fletcher's not going to be there.
BG.
Jason Kelsey's not going to be there. But I hope BG is, because he's the only one that signed his own contract last year.
Do you think
I'd give him
Kelsey's
the same amount of money because he performed.
Kelsey's my favorite Eagle maybe of all time?
Kelsey
And guess
is
what?
not my favorite Eagle of all time. It's always going to be Dawkins.
Me too.
Me
Doc.
too.
All right. But aside
Agreed.
that, he moved up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, he needs to retire.
Oh no, he should be done.
He should be.
But also,
Did you see his
also,
5K time in Seattle last week?
no. Also in that same sentence, I hate saying it because I do. I never thought he was that great of a player until I actually started digging in and actually talking on the radio, because you would never look at his stats. He was always, all right, he made the Pro Bowl. Oh, he made All-Pro. Oh, really? Well, he's got more accolades on that. And, I've met him. He's been on our show with Hollis and I at a golf charity event. He's an awesome cat. But Jason, I gotta ask this one question: where was during this collapse last year, knowing full well that come hell or high water, you were retiring. All right, I get it. At some point in time, everybody just goes, but I never thought I would see that from you. Maybe over the course of the regular season games, but the playoff game, where you're standing by yourself. I'm sorry, bro. I'm mad respect, and whatever you felt that you should have done there is probably right, but I would have gone out a different way. On that note, Jansen just kicked me to the curb. Everybody, Green Legion Radio here on Fox Sports The Gambler, 102.5 FM, Philadelphia, brought to you by our friends at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, Lee Gage, Dan Leonardo, Janine Christie, J9, Rex Alicious, Quimby, myself, my co-host, and producer, John Jansen. Thanks, man. Thanks for pulling me back. Giggity. I would have talked for another hour. Jansen, you the man. We're doing another show next week.
Yes, sir.
Do we have Villanova basketball next Saturday?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know in a few minutes.
Perfect. By the way, Phillies right now are winning 14-12 over the Toronto Blue Jays.
They scored 10 runs in the fourth, I think it was.
That's awesome. Jansen, thanks for everything once again, you guys. Appreciate you. How was wait, real quick, Jansen, how was the show with Sack last week?
It was very, very good. We gotta go to break, but it was very good.
All right, you guys, we're out of here. Thanks. We'll see you.
Clear. Sorry, yeah, we're just starting to fall
With
behind.
three
Yeah,
runs.
3
in
runs.
5 seconds.
Oh my God, well, it's 3:15. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
All good. Yeah, we're just calling a little bit. No, don't.
All right.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to yell at you when you're late.
Did the check in the mail finally reach you?
It
Giggity.
did. Yep.
All right.
A few days ago. Yeah.
So it should cover everything up until today's show, if I'm accurate.
Starting next week, that'll be the first one. Yeah.
Did that make you uncomfortable?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't think it covers today's show.
What's up?
Not my first show, yeah.
This is,
Gotcha.
19.
I was on the
Yeah,
playoff game.
you're much more knowledgeable than I am. That's why I wasn't talking at all.
So, yeah.
It's all good.
I owe you $150 for this show, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right, good. You keep track of that for me, all right?
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely will keep it much better.
All right. No worries, man.
Assuming
Just,
nobody lives in that
Don't
house.
make me wait, or
Yeah,
don't
that's
remind me.
Yeah.
Just say, Quinn, give me this thing out, or I might just send you a check for a couple grand. And we'll
Oh, yeah,
we'll
there's
call
no
it
place
an off
Is
season.
anybody living in that blue one up the street?
Sounds good.
All right, bro.
Shit, blue
Love
one,
you.
like,
Appreciate
blue
you.
goes down, is anybody living in that thing?
Yeah, we'll do.
No,
All
I don't know.
right, man.
I'll talk to you.
See you.
Is there anybody living in that blue piece of shit house up the street?
Which one?
The blue one that looks like it's condemned and haunted?
No, most
It's
of the, I
like
thought most
every
of the houses
street
on
is
You know
the
what's fucked up? There's always a Mercedes parked in that house.
That
Every
house
street
looks-
always has a
Hey!
scary house.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh,
Wow.
it's good to see you.
Me too. Glad I got to see this trip.
Surprise!
J9?
I made a last minute trip down
Yeah,
here.
what's up with
I'm
that?
going to Stevie Nicks concert.
Oh, are you both going?
No, I'm going with my friend Megan. She's hungover and back in the hotel. So.
Did Carrie have tickets to the concert?
Yeah, Carrie bailed, so
What
she
did
called.
she do with her ticket?
Sold to me.
Ah, okay.
So yeah.
Welcome to the.
So I went out to Sturgis I don't know, it was like 6 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and I stayed at a place called the Buffalo Chip. I don't know if you ever watched like the
I used to watch the show on TV. Like,
Full Throttle Saloon.
Yeah.
But
I
it
showed
was
you just
called-
on the other
I think it
day.
was called something else there at the time. But the show was called something.
Yeah, it's on the. Yeah, I think it's called Full Throttle.
All right.
Yeah.
So
We got your housewarming gift.
the get a straw. Get a straw.
Thank
So-
you.
Yeah.
Every
Thank you.
night they
Thank
have
you.
like 2 acts that you've heard of all of them. Some of them are past their prime, and
Oh yeah,
a lot
like
of
the
them are
80s
like
bands, the 80s metal bands.
they
and-
have like Skid Row
Yeah.
and shit like that. But
Skid Row, I love it.
but they have bands that are still like
Yeah, right.
that play awesome, like Def Leppard. Right?
Yes.
But they had, if you watch that show from, I want to say it's like 6 years ago,
Okay.
a bunch of storms rolled in like the first 2 nights.
Okay.
I was riding out there, by the way.
Oh my God.
On your bike?
Yeah.
Damn.
So
This one's scary.
So